Hello everybody, it's me again. And today's date is January 20th, 2018, or 1/20/2018 is the date that I am filming this portion of this video. Now in this video, what you're going to see clear as day, if you haven't already seen it by now, is that my entire JSO criminal arrest history is a lie. It's a lie. They have been trying to drive me out of town simply because of what they documented themselves as doing. What they have documented themselves doing to me on 12/3/1997. And which they now, because they have now tried to cover it up and have gotten caught trying to cover it up, they were forced to create two case files, a felony case file and a misdemeanor case file. Both the felony case file and the misdemeanor case file both have arrest and booking report number 97047-099-5. One a felony, one a misdemeanor, and they can't destroy, they can't get rid of the felony case file because felony case files are never destroyed, ever. So, what do they do? Well, so far they've brought over a 15-year-old little girl, a real 15-year-old little girl. I don't take the bait. Okay, now what they're going to try to do, what are they going to try to do now? Well, now they're going to try to put me in prison. They're going to rewrite my criminal history, and they're going to try to put me in prison for 6 years. That's what they're going to do. What we're going to do in this video is we're going to go all the way through 2000. We're going to go all the way through this arrest in 2000. And again, I am showing you their documents. They have documented themselves doing this to me. I do not have access to the state attorney's office. I do not have access to the clerk of the court's office. I do not have access to the sheriff's office files. Do you? They can't. They have to explain. I don't have to explain anything. They have to explain why this says what it says. They have to explain why there is a felony case file that lists a lewd or lascivious, stating that I committed lewd or lascivious sexual battery. One of the most vile things that one adult human being could do to a child under the age of 16. Yet, again, you've already seen that the Florida Department of Law Enforcement has said that no one in the entire United States of America by the name of Kerry Nelson has ever even been arrested for any type of sexual crime or any type of crime against a child. Yet, that case file still exists. Starting to understand, this is all I need. This is all I need. But again, as I said, it just keeps getting worse for these criminals. The more you try to cover up, the only way to try to cover up the truth is to keep telling lies. And you cannot cover up the truth. You cannot make the truth go away by keep telling lies. Because the truth is the standard that the lie can never meet. Because the truth is the standard that defines exactly what a lie is, when a lie is told and who the liar is that's telling that lie. Just like the law, you cannot fulfill the law by violating the law, because the law is the standard that defines exactly what a crime is, when a criminal act has taken place, and who the criminal is, or in this instance, who the criminals are who have committed said criminal act. You cannot use U.S. law to violate U.S. law. Period. Well, this video is going to you're going to see clear as day that all they keep doing is documenting themselves. They keep documenting themselves, creating more and more of a paper trail, all in an attempt, all because this was not taken care of back in 1997. All because these control freaks were allowed to keep going on. Folks, this has to stop. This will stop. Someone needs to go tell the 3 Thornton women it's not their fault that Cherish Periwinkle was kidnapped, raped, and murdered on June 21st, 2013. It's not their fault. Someone needs to go tell Mama Periwinkle it's not her fault that her daughter was kidnapped, raped, and murdered on June 21st, 2013. Because whose fault is it? Well, Donald Smith is the one that did it. But again, all of these criminals had a hand. It's called culpable negligence. All of these criminals had a hand in assisting Donald Smith. Terrence Martin, the blood of Cherish Periwinkle is on your hands. We are coming for you. I'm not mad at you. I've already forgiven you. But the law will be applied. You knew when you made that plea deal with Donald Smith that you did not have the legal authority, and you could not. You had no legal jurisdiction to even make that plea deal because you stopped being an attorney. Back in, well, the documents say January 5th, 1998. I believe it happened before that. I believe it happened. You all came up with this plan in December when I was still locked up in jail. But it doesn't matter. The simple fact remains that it's your signature that is on false documents that you filed to both the circuit court as well as you all lied to the Honorable Mallory D. Cooper. That's who I want to get before. And again, you criminals, you already know. I just keep coming. If my God tells me to go down to that court case, to that courthouse, once the Donald Smith sentencing trial starts back up, guess where this servant of the one true living God, guess where this servant of the Most High God is going to be? Without fear or trepidation. That's right. This child of the Most High God will be an obedient servant of the Most High God, and will go down there and will stand for the 3 Thornton women, will stand for the Periwinkle family, and will stand for Cherish Periwinkle to make sure that justice is done for Cherish Periwinkle, for the Periwinkle family, for the 3 Thornton women, and let's not forget, for me. Because you, 100+ criminals, each owe me $20 million, bare minimum, for the 20 years plus of my life that you all have stolen from me. And I, by the direction of the law and by the direction of Almighty God, am coming to get all of that back. Am coming to make sure that the 3 Thornton women have received justice. that the Periwinkle family receives justice, and that 8-year-old cherished Periwinkle receives justice, because you all have denied. We are coming for you. So again, in this video, what I do is we go all the way through the 2000 arrest. And you see it clear as day. You see it clear as day. Oh, it's a long video. You don't want to watch it, guys, because you're a control freak. I don't care. Watch it, don't watch it. I don't care what your opinion is. I don't care what you think. Don't think, no, don't tell, show, okay, go. You're a control freak. You're out in yourself. You've got issues. I'm not mad at you. Just don't bring those issues over to me, because you will get your tiny little irrelevant, insignificant, pointless, meaningless feelings hurt. I'm standing for the truth. I'm telling the truth. You're seeing, what you're seeing, folks, is you are seeing exactly what happens once the lie is met by the truth. It gets crushed. It gets destroyed. So, let's get on with this video. And remember, the chief judge, the supposed chief judge, should I say, Mahan, the supposed sheriff, he's a criminal, they're both criminals, the supposed undersheriff, the supposed sheriff, Mike Williams, you're a criminal, Mike. You're a gutless wonder. You're a puppet. The supposed undersheriff, you're a criminal, Pat Ivy. You're a thug. You're a bully. Have known about this for 2 years, 4 months, and 12 days as of 12/3/2017. This is the very same information. What I've been showing you all in all of these videos is the very same information that I sent into them, and that they received, signed for, on July 21st, I believe it was. (2015). Meaning, they've been knowing about it. And the only thing that they could do, why haven't they done anything about it? I'm going to tell you why. Because this is how they operate. They get hooks in everybody. All of these control freaks, all of these manipulators, everybody that operates by the law of the jungle, that's what they do. They get hooks, and I'm going to make you, I'm going to make you, I'm going to make you. Well, the Word of God is clear. The Word of God is true. The truth shall make you free. You want to be free of those hooks? All you got to do is just tell the truth. And now they're scared to death because I have the audacity, the boldness, the confidence, I am an obedient servant of the one true living God, the Most High God. And I am reporting their crimes to the very criminals that have been committing it. Folks, if you don't think that look, they all know about it. And they're not doing anything, just trying to goad me, and they want me to go act just like them and make them do something. Inaction is an action when an action is required. Doing nothing is doing something when something needs to be done. I don't need to explain why they aren't doing anything. They do. So says the law. So says their oath. Because so says the word of Almighty God. Because so says Almighty God. I don't have to explain why somebody else isn't doing something or does something. I don't have to give an account for them. The only one that I have to give an account for is myself. I'm sorry. I'm going to tell the truth. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you think. I'm going to stand and I'm going to tell the truth. Because I have been told, I have been given the charge by the God of all gods, the one true living God, the Most High God, my Lord, my Savior, my Redeemer, Jesus Christ. I have been given this charge to make sure that I get back the 20 years of my life that has been stolen from me, because I've got things to do. And it's time for me to start doing them. And guess what? All of those, you 100 plus criminals that each and every one of you owes me $20 million, that's the money that I'm going to use to do what my God has told me to do. That's how I know this is over and done with. Everything that you're seeing was shown to me by the one true living God. Jesus Christ showed me all of this. Where did I get all this from? I didn't make it up. They couldn't hide it because of Galatians chapter 6 verse 7. Be not deceived. God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, so shall he also reap. Well, guess what, you criminals? It's reaping time. We are coming for you. So, enough of that. You criminals, don't take the coward's way out. My first concern for you is for your eternal soul. Do not kill yourself, because you will split hell wide open. My first concern for you is for your eternal soul. Repent. Because if you don't repent, at some point in time, you don't know when. Nobody knows when they're going to die, but we all die. Once you're dead, you cannot repent. Repent. You cannot, look, God forgives. The law does not forgive. The law is enforced. The law is upheld. The law is applied. No matter what, you can cry, you can beg, you can plead. It doesn't matter. The law doesn't hear you. The law will be applied because you all have documented yourselves as violating the law. So says the law. And the only reason why I have had to even do all this is because you all got caught. You all documented yourselves. You all documented the crimes back on 12/3/1997. Then you documented the fact that you tried to cover up your crimes in 1998. And now you've documented the crimes of you all trying to, again, they tried to put me in prison for 6 years. Didn't work. I'm still right here. They have been trying to drive me out of this city, and they documented it, and that's exactly what you're going to see in this video. So let's get on with this video, shall we? And remember, the supposed chief judge and the supposed sheriff have known about this as of 12/3/2017 for 2 years, 4 months, and 12 days. The only one that I do not know for certain has knowledge of this is the one Mallory D. Cooper. That's the one I want to get before. Let's settle it, folks. Get me before the Honorable Mallory D. Cooper. You criminals, you know I'm going to come. If you all don't do it, if you all do not do something about this, then Almighty God, then I will go and keep reporting these crimes to the Honorable Mallory D. Cooper herself in the courtroom, right there in front of all the television cameras. I don't care. I'm not mad at her. She is the one that you all had lied to. She's the one that my God told me to get before. So guess what? I'm coming. You all better do something about this. Otherwise, all you're going to keep doing is just, the longer you all wait, the deeper you all are digging your grave. Period. You can't do anything to me. I am a blood-bought, spirit-filled, saved, sanctified child of the one true living God. And I will go with all confidence, with all boldness, exactly where my God tells me to go. Simply because, well, I know my God. I have a relationship with Him. So, deal with it today or deal with it tomorrow. But dealt with, it shall be. So let's get on with this video, shall we? Now, remember I said that they were trying to drive me out of the city. Here's the first thing that they did. what you're about to see, what you're about to find out is that my entire criminal history report is a lie and has been rewritten, written and rewritten, written and rewritten multiple times, simply in an attempt to try to drive me out of the city, and then rewritten to try to cover up the fact that they were trying to drive me out of the city. You remember the very first arrest that's listed on this thing? And remember, it goes back into, it goes from the most recent to the very first. Remember how I said that there is no arrest and booking report anywhere that says I was arrested for a traffic offense in 2009? That was the last time that they were trying to... They came into my house and I was arrested at gunpoint. Don't worry, we're going to get to it. In 2009. All because of what they did to me in 1997. Because that was never dealt with. Okay? But here I'm going to show you. With their own criminal history report, with their own documents again. Remember this, 1992, 2/14, 1992, traffic arrest? Remember how it says statute unavailable? And then permitting use of unsafe equipment on any highway. Okay? Here's the arrest and booking report number. 5377. That is for this court case. 1992 CT 9501. Here's the court case. 9501. Okay? You see it right there. And 2/14 is the offense date. 2/14 is the file date because, well, I was arrested after midnight when I was leaving from a Bible study. How about that? How about that? So, and I did not live at 4346 Carmichael Avenue. In 1992, I lived at 1111 St. John's Bluff Road. That's why they're trying to hide this. They're trying to hide it because they had to... guess what this statute's for? The one that's unavailable. Want to take a guess? Want to take a guess? It is for driving while license suspended or revoked. This is the very first time I was ever arrested for driving while license suspended or revoked. Now, I don't live... In 1992, I lived at 1111 St. John's Bluff Road, Jacksonville, Florida, 32225. Not 4346 Carmichael Avenue. They're lying to you. It has been rewritten so many times it's not funny. So, again, nothing about it. Driving while license is suspended. Permitting use of unsafe equipment. Again, my license plate light was out. But why was my license suspended? For non-payment of non-moving violation tickets. From the 2 years before, from 1989, 3 years before. From 1989, I got a seatbelt ticket and a tail light. And one of my tail lights was out, and I got 2 tickets and I forgot to pay them. That's why my license was suspended or revoked. Okay? So, now, what they did, if you remember, 12/17/1996, I was arrested again for driving on a suspended license. Okay? Again, non-payment of non-moving violation tickets was the reason why my driver's license was suspended. So, that was the second time I was arrested for driving on a suspended license. Then, the very same month, while coming back. This is the rewritten. This is the one I was arrested for. Look at that, 2 times on 12/17. Okay, this happened right down the street from my house. I'm now living at Carmichael Avenue, 4346 Carmichael Avenue. I wasn't driving my work van. I was driving. I was driving a 1977 Chevy Nova, and the police officer didn't want to arrest me because I was literally 2 houses from my house. So they wrote me a ticket. She wrote me a ticket and said take care of this. Well, I'm absent-minded. I forget. I'm slow about taking care of tickets. Okay? Then, for the 3rd time in 1996, or for the 3rd time since 1992, because this one, it'll make sense. This is a real one. Okay? This is a real arrest. It actually happened. This one is made up. It's made up. It's made up. Which is why you'll understand. Okay? So on December 28th, 1996, I'm coming back from I'm a basketball coach. We went out of town for a Christmas tournament. And I'm going home, and I'm still driving the 1978 or 1977 Chevy Nova, and I get pulled over, tag not attached, attaching tag not assigned, okay, and driving on a suspended license. But this time, because it's the 3rd time, I'm now considered a habitual offender. The 3rd time within 3 or 5 years. 3 to 5 years. The first time was in 1992. The second time was in 12/17, 1996. This is the 3rd time. So what do they do? Here's the case file for it. 74287. 74287. What ends up happening with this? And again, arrest and booking report number. We're going to scroll down here. Arrest and booking report number 2993 72993 and 7299. Okay? So what happens? I am ordered in a judge. I plead no contest. I think that all I'm going to do is spend the night in jail. Well, surprise, surprise, surprise. They gave me 30 days. 30 days. Mainly because I was reported to the Jacksonville Sheriff's. I didn't take care of the one that happened on the 17th. The one. Not 2. The one that happened on the 17th of December. So I got 30 days out at the P farm. My brother runs my business for me while I'm locked out. It was really 20 days. Because I got 2 days credit, and then nobody does your full time. I did 20 days, basically 3 weeks, out at the P farm. Okay? So then after that, the next thing on my arrest and booking report, on my criminal arrest history, was this thing. Now this is the thing that they need to make go away. Okay? So what's their brilliant idea? Remember, traffic citations only stay on your record for anywhere from 3 to 5 years. In order for me to commit a felony, I would have had to been arrested for this. Let's say it's 5 years. I would have again had to been arrested for driving on a suspended license sometime before the end of December of 1997. Otherwise, this original 92 arrest drops off. It no longer has any effect. The clock is reset. Then I'm back to only having 2. So what did they do? They decide to set me up. They still know where I'm living, because the next arrest after this 1997, the next arrest is for, again, 1999, driving while license is suspended or revoked. They know right where I'm sitting. They've already brought over a real 15-year-old little girl to my house. So, and I don't respond. So now what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to try to legally get rid of me. So they set me up. They're waiting. There's 2 squad cars waiting as I'm driving out from my neighborhood. I'm still living at the same place, 4346 Carmichael Avenue. There's 2 Jacksonville Sheriff's Office squad cars waiting for me after I had gotten a phone call asking to go meet somebody someplace, and it was told I couldn't bring my lawn trailer with me, so that they would see that I don't have a tag. I'm using trailer tags for my van. As long as the lawn trailer's on it, they can't see the lawn tag. They can't see the tag on the van. But I'm told that I can't bring my lawn trailer, so I disconnect my lawn trailer, and me and Charlie get in the van to go meet these people. And who's waiting for me right at the corner of Valencia and Atlantic Boulevard? 2 Jacksonville Sheriff's Office squad cars. And as soon as I turn right to go down towards the beach, which is the direction I had to go to meet these people, both of the squad cars pull out of the parking lot and come in right behind me. So I then try to do... Anyway, they pull me over. And they charge me with a felony. They charge me with a felony. Here's the court case. Here's the 1999 court case. And here's what I want you to notice. It's still today. What does that say? What does that say? Huh? Correction required. When did I make this printout? When did I print this out off of core? Right there. 1/19/2018. That's the date. That's today's date. 1/19/2018. Scroll down here. You're going to see that same date again, I believe. (1/19/2018). Okay? That is the date that I am making, that I printed out this page off of core. And as of 1/19/2018, this 1999 case file, excuse me, sorry about that, still says correction required. And you're looking right at it. Why does it say correction required? Because they charged me with a felony. Okay? They were saying that it was my 4th time driving on a suspended license within 4 or 5 years, when it wasn't. They seized my van, and they wanted to put me in prison for 6 years for being a habitual offender of driving on a suspended license. They revoked my driver's license, is what they ended up doing. But they have me handcuffed. They seize my van because supposedly it was used in the commission of a felony. Okay? And here's what I want you to notice. They set a bond for driving on a suspended license. This is how you know it's a felony. That bond is $5,003. For driving on a suspended license? I don't think so. That's a felony. That's a felony. They wanted to put me in jail for 6 years. They seized my vehicle with all of my lawn equipment in it. So first things first, I got to get out of jail. So I call up a friend of mine, a wonderful woman. I consider her my mother, Miss Patricia Concher. She bonds me out. And then we start looking at, because right there it says I'm ordered to a public note offender. That's when they tell me what I'm looking at. I'm looking at 6 years in prison. I say, you crazy? So we go around. She says, no, this isn't right. Let's go get you an attorney. I said, okay. We went to one attorney someplace on Atlantic Boulevard or Beach, one of those two, right around the corner from my house. Okay? And what do you think the very first thing, we're in there to discuss this, how they want to put me in prison for 6 years. What do you think this attorney wants to talk about? This. That's what this attorney wants to talk about. He says, well, wait a minute, hold on. What about this? What is this? And remember, he knows that this woman, translation, they know about this. They're trying to shame me, and they know that Patricia Concher is now helping me. So we've got to smear Kerry Nelson to anyone who wants to try to help Kerry Nelson, or anyone who can help Kerry Nelson, because if we don't, we're all going to go to prison because of what we did to him back on 12/3/1997. So this attorney says, what about this? And I don't want to talk about that. As far as I'm concerned, it's over and done with because the Charlie in charge Coffer told me that all charges were dropped, and that's exactly what I told him. I said all the charges were dropped. I was told that by a judge. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about going to prison for 6 years. So then what does he say? He says, well, why is your driver's license suspended? I said, suspended for non-payment of non-moving violation tickets. So the attorney says, and Miss Pat, that's what I called Patricia Concher, that's what everybody called her, was either Miss Pat or Mama. She said, well, how do we get it unsuspended? He says, well, all you got to do is go pay the tickets. He's not going to lie, because I got a witness. Because he knows all we're going to do is we're going to keep going to more attorneys. So he can see how many tickets there are. So that's exactly what we do. I go. Miss Pat says, "Okay, Kerry, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go, and I'm going to pay all your tickets for you." And I said, "Miss Pat, you don't have to do that." She says, "If I don't do that, you're going to go to prison." Which they couldn't send me to prison. And I tried to tell her that. I said, "Ma'am, they're not going to send... There is no jury in the world that's going to send me to prison for 6 years because I'm driving around on a suspended license, and the only reason why my driver's license is suspended is for non-payment of non-moving violation tickets. It's no DUIs. I don't drink. I'm a called minister of the gospel. If anything, I procrastinate. If I'm guilty of anything, I'm guilty of procrastination. So that's what we do. we go around, and I told her, I said, I'm going to pay you back every penny, and I did. It took me a minute, but I can't do anything while I'm in jail, and I can't pay her back if I go to prison. So we go and we pay every single ticket. And if you notice, and again, I have no access to this. You see right there, I plead not guilty and not guilty. Okay? And the reason why? Because I paid all the tickets. If your driver's license is suspended for non-payment of non-moving violation tickets, then as soon as you pay the tickets, it's no longer suspended. So says the law. I'm going to get back to that. So, I tell the people, we go pay all the tickets, and my public no defender is still going with this, take a deal. Take a deal. Take a deal. He calls me one time. No, they don't even call me. I don't meet my public no defender until the arraignment date. No, not the arraignment date. Until 9/17/1999 at the pretrial, because I'm coming, baby. I'm coming. I paid all my tickets. There's no way in the world, and these people want to put me in prison for 6 years for driving on a suspended license, and my driver's license was suspended for non-payment of non-moving violation tickets. I think up to this point I have gotten one speeding ticket since I moved to Jacksonville in 1989. One speeding ticket. That's it. And I paid it. So right here on 8/31, I paid all the tickets, and this proves that they were pursuing felony charges, because that's when it says again transfer to county court. Why transfer to county court? Well, because now it's a misdemeanor, which means they're supposed to give me back my van, which they never did. But what dum-dums don't know, well, I'm going to get to that. So, here comes the arraignment date of 9/3. Okay, and again, defendant present. Okay, and this happens lickety-split real quick. This is down at J1 again. Okay, and right up here, what we're going to look at is 2 p.m. 2 p.m. is an arraignment date at J1. Just like I showed up on 12/15, but what's different this time? What's different this time is the bond company actually calls me up and tells me, now, as soon as you're done with that arraignment date, you've got to come over to the bond company. This is the people that I know. Mo's. Bonds by Mo. They are literally right across the street from the jail. Literally. You walk across the street. So after that first appearance, after this 9/3 date, you're gonna need to come show up. They're gonna give you something, or you're gonna come tell us what was what. I said okay, and then I tell them it was passed for pretrial on the 17th, and that's when it was transferred to county court. Okay? That's why the arraignment date happened at J1, because we had between me bonding out and the first arraignment date, I paid all of the tickets. So by 9/3/1999, all of the tickets, my driver's license is no longer suspended. Period. That's why it got transferred to county court. That's why they changed the arraignment date to 9/3/1991 at J1, because it's now a misdemeanor. Yet they still want to put me in prison for 6 months, for 6 years. They got to get rid of me. And who do I go before? Ferguson. That's when I plead not guilty Because again, he's a county court. We're in county court now. And they still are pursuing, they're still pursuing. This is the same judge that oversaw the two guys that went to the hotel, the last two guys in the first. Again, he didn't do anything. He's not a crooked judge. He's an honest judge. At least here, he's dealing with something that's actually a crime. Yes, I was actually driving on a suspended license. Okay? So he doesn't go over it, all of that. He just wants to know, how do I plea? I plead not guilty. So then he passes it over, right there, pass for pretrial on 9/17. That's 9/17 is when I finally meet my public no defender, who tells me, look, just the absolute best you can get is 6 months in jail. I said, 6 months? For what? For what? Just take the deal. I said, I'm not taking no deal. There is not a jury on the face of God's green earth that's going to put me in prison for even 6 days for driving on a suspended license that is no longer suspended, because the only reason why the license was suspended was for non-payment of non-moving violation tickets, and I've paid the daggum tickets. He's still sitting there, well, I've never had a case, his exact words, I've never seen anybody fight this and win. They've always, because if you fight it, then they'll give you the maximum. He's trying to scare me. It's called gaslighting, folks. And again, defendant present. So what happens? Well, this is going to be the shortest pretrial thing in the history of in the history of everything. Okay, why? Judge Ferguson comes up and he asks the state attorney, just like Charles Coffer, I have to go in by myself because Miss Pat is not my family. Not my blood family. So she has to sit outside. Okay? And so, according to Matthew Rhodes, they're still trying to get me, they're trying to get me to give up my voice. They're trying to drive me out of the city. If I would have went to prison for even 6 months, even if I did 6 months out of the P farm, it would have destroyed my business. It would have driven me out of this city. That's what they're trying to do. So, what happens? That's when the state attorney says, what are they pursuing? And he's like, well, the defendant has a long history of blah, 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 blah. So, we're pursuing 6 years. And then Matthew opens up his mouth and says, well, sir, what we would like to do is we would like to throw out, I said, hold on, be quiet. And I said, Your Honor? He says, yes, Mr. Nelson. I said, does this guy have to talk for me? Can I not speak for myself? He says, you most certainly can, sir. And I said, sit down and be quiet, sir. Sit down and be quiet. And I then told him, I said I had paid all the tickets, no more tickets. Everything's been taken care of. I said I've got all of the D6 clearances for every daggum thing. I went everywhere and paid everything. I have no outstanding tickets anywhere. And he says, do you have that with you? I said, yes, sir, right here. And I pulled it out, and he said, bailiff, go get that. So the bailiff comes up to me. I hand him the the proof that I paid all the tickets, and then Emmett Ferguson. Remember, Matthew told me he's never had anybody win. He's never had anybody win. They want to put me in prison for 6 years. Emmett Ferguson says to me, Mr. Nelson, how long were you in jail before? and I'm thinking he's talking about in '96 when I did 30 days out at the P farm. I said 30 days. I did 30 days out at the P farm. He said no, Mr. Nelson, for this. I said 3 days. I was in 3 days before I bonded out. So then he says, okay, Mr. Nelson, this is what I'm going to do. If you plead no contest, I will adjudicate you guilty, and I will judgment and sentence you to county jail for 3 days, and give you 3 days credit. How does that sound? I said, done, sir. He said, Mr. Nelson, how do you plead? I said, sir, Your Honor, I plead no contest. And that's exact. And you're looking right at it. He says, what I'm going to do is I'm going to suspend whatever it is, the $5 one. He says, but I have to impose these 2 court costs because we did have court costs, and I'm going to have to impose this thing because we went this far. I said, that's fine. That's $115 I now owe in court costs. And after doing all of that, he looks over at the state attorney, who wanted to put me in prison. Prison, not jail, prison for 6 years. He looks over at the state attorney, and he tells the state attorney, he says, I certainly hope that the remainder of your docket has cases that are more valid than this one, because this case was a complete waste of the court's time. So before I leave, I said, Your Honor, how can I get my van back? I said, can you order JSO to give me back my van? Because they impounded my van. He said, son, I can't order the police to do anything. You're going to have to go down there and do that. Well, they never gave me back my van. Translation, they stole my van. But that's okay. I just went home. I had a Ford F-150 straight 6 cargo van at the house. I called up my brother. I said, buddy, bring over your welding torch. We're gonna weld a trailer hitch on the back of the Ford because they took my Chevy. I just reloaded. All things work together for good for them that love the Lord. But this is the first time, and you're looking right at it. And how did they come up with this? What in the world did they have to do in order to make this happen? They had to rewrite my criminal history report. Here's what they had to do. That's why this 1217 arrest is on here twice, because that would have been the 4th one, because the first one happened way back in 1992 and had already dropped off the record. So without this second 1217 driving on a suspended license, it's made up. It's a lie. You're looking right at it. Then this one would have only been, this was the 3rd one in 96, and the one in 99 would have only been third one because it's 5, they only stay on your record for up to, it's either 3 or 5 years. And 99 minus 92 is 7 years. So they had to rewrite, with the rewritten one, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Because this one has already dropped off the record. But without it, then I'm only doing 30 days, and they can't take my van, and they can't drive me out the city. Well, now I've just prevented them from ever arresting me for driving on a suspended license, because I just paid all of the tickets. Yet they keep saying that I failed to pay. They keep saying that I failed to pay D6 clearance forms. They keep rewriting the record because they keep trying to drive me out of the city, is what they're trying to do. And why are they trying to drive me out of the city? Because if they don't, I'm going to put them all in prison, because I know they know it's only a matter of time before I find out that this is a lie, and I do exactly what I'm doing right now. Period. Now, what date did all of this happen? What was the offense date? 7/17/1999. You know what you all forgot about? You all forgot about this. You all forgot about the capias, the indirect capias that was issued on 4/6/1998 by the Honorable Mallory D. Cooper, that this deputy clerk of the court signed off on, or signed, and that has her signature on. And you forgot about this failure to appear capias that was issued 4/9/1998. That this criminal deputy clerk, different deputy clerk, and here Mallory D. Cooper, the Honorable Mallory Cooper, is only a witness, whereas up here she is the one that's ordering it to be done. Again, indirect and now direct, meaning, what does that mean? It's what is the date? 7/17/1999. That means the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office arrested me and had me sitting in the back of a car for another long time. Hours. It's July. It's hot. I'm handcuffed, and Charlie's with me. So it's me and Charlie. I'm handcuffed, and Charlie is in the back seat of the police car with me. Thank God, he's licking the sweat off of my face. They don't want nothing to do with Charlie. So they take Charlie back to the house. They're kind enough. They tell me, hey, we're taking your van. They take Charlie back to the house, and then they take me to jail. So all this while they're doing background checks on me, and what doesn't show up? Why, this failure to appear doesn't show up. Then I go to court the next day for my first appearance. I'm in court on the 18th. You're looking right at it. Then I'm back in court on the 3rd. Then I'm back in court on the 17th. All the while I have a failure to appear warrant out for my arrest, and you still don't think that it was a setup? Let me tell you why. Who controls all the information? The state attorney's office does. The state attorney's office decides when the warrant is issued and when it's recalled. When it's recalled, the state attorney's office does. So what they did is they never issued this capias, which again is why it doesn't have any filing stamps on it. Okay, you're looking right at it. Then they ordered this one. They had one of their criminal buddies, this deputy clerk, sign off on it. Then they issued it and then recalled it right back, simply to let Mallory D. Cooper believe that this capias was out. Which again is why there are no stamps on, oh, see, there's a stamp on this one. Because it finally came to act in 2000. But don't you think that's a little odd that the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office arrests me? I'm in their custody on 7/17/1999, and they do not mention a failure to appear warrant. What did they arrest me for? For driving on a suspended license. Then they impound my vehicle. They take my van from me. Then I go through the whole booking process. The whole while they're doing background searches on you. So I get a background search done while I'm being arrested. Then I get another background search done while I'm being booked. Then before I bond out, there's another background search done on me. Then before I show up to court on 9/3, there's another background check done on me. Then before I show up to court on 9/17, there's another background check on me. That is the very definition of incompetence, because right here, you're looking right at it. Failure to appear warrant was issued on 4/9/1998. Only it wasn't issued. They recalled it. Why? Well, because, let's see, in July 17th. Oh, look at that. Did y'all notice? Did y'all notice? Crawford has been a judge now for 1 year. He became a judge July 14th, 1998. So now 1 year he's been a judge. We got to get rid of this. We got, look, hey man, y'all gonna look. I did my part. Charles says, I did my part. Now you all got to do your part. You all got to set him up. You all got to get rid of him. Hello, that's what you're looking at. How in the world? How many times is that? 5 times they were supposed to run background check, and they don't see it. They don't come. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. How that is again? That's the very definition of incompetence. Once I've been arrested, they run your tag to see if there's anything outstanding on you. Then you get a background check done again once you're going through the booking process. Then I got another background check in order to be bonded out. Then I get another background check prior to showing up in the court. Then on the 3rd, and then I have another background check. Oh, I should. Then there's a 5th background check done on the 17th, and all the while I'm going around paying all these tickets as well. I'm going into the courthouse that's where you got to get the D6 clearance from, is in the courthouse, and I'm doing all of that with a failure to appear warrant out for my arrest. If that is not that very definition of incompetence, I don't know what is. But again, they issued it and then they recalled it. Because they don't want me to know about what they've done about this. I still don't know that they rewritten the arrest and booking report. I don't find that out until 2013. Period. Okay? They do not, they're trying to avoid me going back into jail. Is what they're trying to avoid. They're trying to avoid me going in and finding out about this, because they know exactly what's going to happen once I find out about this. What's going to happen? These videos are going to happen. I'm going to scream loud and long, because they know that there is no legal, lawful reason for this to exist. They know that this documents them shredding the Constitution and violating my 1st, 4th, 5th, 6th, 8th, and 14th United States constitutional rights. They've denied me counsel. They have denied me due process. They have kidnapped me. They have tormented me. They have tortured me. They have slandered me. They are now libeling me because they created 2 case files. 1 felony, 1 misdemeanor, and there is not a valid arrest and booking report arrest docket for either, meaning all they've done is documented the simple fact that they are violating the Constitution. It's only a matter of time. We've got to run this guy out of. We've got to get rid of this guy. So let's try to set him up. And you can't set me. You can't set up a child of the Most High God. Let's put him in prison. Oh, and the attorney, Mr. My public no defender, Matthew. Before I left out the courtroom, I made sure to lean over to him and said, "Well, look, hey, at least now you can't say that you've never won." And he looked up at me and I said, "Well, never mind. You didn't win. I did." Never give up your voice, people. You don't need a stinking attorney. Especially a no defender. A supposed public defender. Folks, think about this. Who pays the public defender's office? The state attorney's office does, folks. The state attorney's office and the public defender's office get paid, are paid by the same people. Charlie in charge, Coffer, was in charge for training both public defenders as well as state attorneys. They are useless creatures. Useless creatures. And why am I a threat? Again, I'm a threat because I am the only one who they have not been able to coerce shame into saying or even thinking that he had done something wrong, because I knew I was not looking for sex. I was not looking to pay for sex. And I know that there is no legal lawful reason. Well, one, we've already documented that this was just an attempt to coerce me. They never planned on this thing to ever be prosecuted. Oops, sorry, it was prosecuted. Then they never planned on me getting out of jail, making bond. Oops, sorry, I made bond. Then they never planned on having a felony case file or a misdemeanor case file created. Oops, it got filed because Almighty God is omnipresent. He's omnipotent, all-knowing. He's omnipresent. He's everywhere all at the same time. He's all-powerful. And you all made an oath to him. Folks, there is absolutely no way to prove solicitation of prostitution. No way to prove it unless people have sex. Some type of sex. There is no way to prove that someone, I don't care if they go up and tell you, hey, hello, I will give you $100 I will pay you $1,000. Heck, you remember the movie? I will pay you $1 million if you let your wife spend the night with me. If I can sleep with your wife. They made a movie out of that. Indecent Proposal was the name of the movie. And guess what? Until the person actually has sex, then they haven't done anything. There's no way to prove that you would actually have sex. So, you can go up to somebody, anybody, all you want. You can say, hey, I'll give you $100. You can take them. You can go to the ATM machine and get out $100. You can take them back to the hotel room. You can even give them $100. There is no way to prove that sex will occur. Why? Because you're dealing with two free will creatures. The girl or the guy at any point in time can change their mind and say no. There is absolutely no such thing as criminal solicitation of prostitution. And I just explained to you why. It is a shame tactic. It is a control tactic. Plain and simple. It's a classification statute to create a criminal class so that we can take out people that want to rock the boat, like me. Only one little problem. It's called a paradoxical situation, is what it is. If you do not respond to the paradoxical situation, again, they don't have anything, they had nothing back in 1997. All they had on tape was me calling up and asking for information on how it all worked. And these control freaks just kept coming. Now look what they've got. Now here we are, almost 2 years later, and now what have they done since documenting all their crimes? Since trying to cover up all their crimes? What have they done? They've brought over to my house a real, actual 15-year-old little girl, and I don't respond to the paradoxical situation. Here, they falsify my criminal record. I've just showed it to you. How in the world do you get arrested twice on the same day for driving on a suspended license? It cannot happen. Cannot happen. There's one. There's two. Different case number. Different supposed arrest and booking report numbers. 45942. Oh, no. Same arrest and booking report number. You didn't see that, did you? 45942. How do you do that? But it's got two different case numbers. 4146A. Uh-oh. Different case number. Again, magic arrest and booking report numbers. How does that happen? How does that happen? Disposition date 12/18/1996. What's this one? Disposition date 12/18/1996. So what? I was arrested and there was two different two different first appearances for this? Give me a break. Arresting officer ID 6299. Let's see what this one is. 6299. Apparently I was arrested, citation number 821350Q. Citation. Look at that. Look at that. Different citation number. So apparently, not only was I arrested twice on the same day, I was arrested twice on the same day by the very same Officer. Officer ID 6299-6299. They control the information, folks. I didn't put that. I don't have any way to put this in there. How does that happen? It can't. They're stuck like Chuck. They're caught. So, but they're not done yet. They are not done yet. Because I'm about to do something. I'm about to arrest, report a real pedophile. I'm about to report I'm about to turn in a real, actual pedophile because this imbecile showed me a disgusting picture of a little girl, maybe 10 years old. Maybe. Probably younger than that. Probably 8 or 9. This poor little girl was being raped by a grown man. And this imbecile showed it to me. What imbecile? This imbecile. Vincent Lolly. That's who. This imbecile right here. Vincent Lolly. Vincent, I can't even remember how in the world I met him, but I met him back in 1998. Somebody knew him. I was doing somebody's lawn or something. I can't remember how in the world I got in touch or how I met Vincent Lolly. But he is, if you were to see him, he's dead now. He died. He busted hell wide open. Okay? But I started working with Vincent in 1998. He was making what he called mixed boxing videos. They're like silly little videos, like WWE type wrestling type stuff. Only instead of wrestling, you had a pretty young female, adult, 18 or older, with a pair of boxing gloves on, and they beat the guy up. So I got paid to get punched on by a little 98-pound blonde-haired girl. Innocent. Completely innocent. You know, no sex, no even mention of sex, nothing like that. Well, after doing 1 or 2 of those videos, all of a sudden, he starts talking about fetish videos. Now, he couldn't get girls. He needed somebody to go, the way that he got his girls is he would go to bars and he would spend all of his money to try to impress the young women. Okay? You can see he was born in 1945. So you can do the math. I mean, he was a little short little guy. I mean, way short, like barely over 5 feet. 5 feet nothing. Okay? So he would go into the bars and he would spend all of his money, and these girls would just, hey, you want to buy me drinks? Fine. You can buy me drinks, but I'm not going to do nothing with you. Go back to his apartment and everything. So that's how he found the girls. Well, after 1 or 2 videos, the girls didn't want to do it no more, so he needed somebody to go find new girls. That was me. And that's how he asked me to find some people. And hey, I was willing, I mean, fine, you know, just go up and ask the girl if they want to do a boxing video, and fine, dandy, You know, you can bring along a friend, you can bring along your boyfriend, we don't care. They can just stand right there and watch, and that's what they did. So, just so everybody knows, everything's copacetic and nothing crazy is going on. So, but then he started talking about fetish videos. The dude was a freak. Pantyhose. The dude was a pantyhose. Pantyhose was the thing that he brought up first. Pantyhose videos and people walking on cakes, and he starts talking about all of this sick stuff, and I'm like, look, I ain't gonna ask I don't want nothing to do with any of that. Okay, you go out and you I'm not gonna ask anybody to do no kind of fetish videos, because I know what a fetish video is. Okay, that's a sexually based. These people are getting their rocks off from these from watching a girl step barefoot on a birthday cake. Just really sick stuff. So, but I quickly realized that he had a thing for little girls, and there was a website that he would always go to. Picture View, I think was the name of it, pictureview.com or something like that. And he would always pull up. Now, these photos were of little girls, but they were professional model photos. And always, he was obsessed with thin little legs. So he printed out over the year. He printed out and gave to me a whole folder, a whole box, should I say, like 3 reams of paper of these kind of photos. Now, I knew there was something wrong with this dude, and I remembered what the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office told me back in 1997 when I reported these people, when I reported somebody that was pimping out a 14-year-old little girl. They said they needed proof. So I saved every single photo, every single computer printout that he gave. Put it in a box, put it up on top of a shelf, and I'm just waiting to build my case. This dude went to church, and he was laughing because he was going to be a chaperone for all the little kids under 10 someplace, and he was laughing about how he got to be alone with all of these little girls. He was had his daughter's house one Halloween, and he was giving out candy, and he calls me up because he's so excited about all the little. He's telling me about every single little girl, 10-year-old, 8-year-old, and how sexy they look in their Halloween costumes. He's telling me this. You know, the one that was, molested as a child. So I stayed on the phone with him. You're like, well, why did you listen? Why did you stay on the phone and listen to him? Because if he's on the phone with me, he can't do anything with those kids or to those kids. So I just sat there and listened and listened and listened and listened and prayed to Almighty God to send angels down to get those little kids away from him. So he gets bolder and bolder and bolder. He's talking more and more about fetish videos and pantyhose and all this stuff. And then one night, he's we're at his house. And he had, and what he had bragged. He had professed that he had stolen the camera that he was using from. He worked at CSX. He worked for the railroad. Okay, he had an office job, some kind of bookkeeper or something at CSX railroad, and he was always talking about how he stole the camera from CSX, and how the laptop that he had stolen from CSX. He just walked out the door one day with it, and went to the hall, to the storage room wherever they kept it, grabbed it, walked out, and never brought it back. He also had a big industrial sized printer in his apartment. He lived in Bay Meadows, real nice apartment complex. And he claimed that he stole that as well. I don't know. I thought he was full of bull. I thought he was just trying to impress somebody, because it didn't look like he had the brains to do anything. He looked like a pervert, is what he looked like. So after telling me all this, and then more and more sending me these photos, printing them out and giving them to me, and telling me how sexy the little kids looked, describing in detail what they were wearing and everything. I mean, just makes your skin crawl. So I'm over by his house one night, and he kept everything. It was a laptop, and he kept everything on floppy discs, little hard discs that slid into the A drive. Okay, this was before CDs. Okay, he didn't have CDs. He had the little hard instead. You know what I'm talking about. On a computer. It's got on a laptop. It has a slot where you can slide in a little hard drive disc. Okay. Today now they also have DVDs or CDs and stuff like that. But he put everything on a little hard drive disc. And all of a sudden, one night, he was feeling rather frisky after looking through all the photos on pictureview.com. I think that was the name of it. He then says, "Oh, here, I got something I know you're going to like." And he reaches over and he pulls out one of those little discs. He had stacks of them. He sticks it in. He pulls up the picture and he says, "Look at this." And he sits back like he's so proud, like I'm gonna really love what I'm looking at. And that's when he shows me this picture of this little girl who's laying on her back with this grown man raping her. And the look on the little girl's face is a look of terror. And I wanted to rip his head off right then and there. The amount of evil that I felt as soon as I saw that photo, I can't even describe it. Disgusting. And as soon as he saw my face, as soon as he saw how mad I was, he knew he had really messed up. Now, remember I told you I was set up for the driving on a suspended light in '99, right? Remember I told you how this was a setup. Okay, they were waiting for me, and I was going to meet somebody. Who was I going to meet? Vince had called me up. Vince had called me up, and he said, "Look, I've got two sisters. They're both over 18. I need you to go over there and talk to them, because I can't go over there to them. I can't get to them." So he gave them my phone number. They called me, and that's when they told me I couldn't bring my lawn trailer. He set me up. Why did he set me up? Because he was a control freak. We were butting heads. We were butting heads. He was ripping people off. He was doing the very opposite of what he said he would do. Okay? So I go, and I didn't realize that until after I started looking into all of this. Because those two girls, I never heard from them again. And Vincent never mentioned them again. So that's probably the reason why, and that also proves it'll make sense in a minute. Okay, so what do? Well, I do exactly what I did back in 1997. The next day, I call up the Jacksonville Vice, and I report Vinny to them, and they have two vice detectives come out, and I'm still living at the very same place, 4346 Carmichael Avenue, and I have two vice detectives come out, and what do I give them? I tell him everything about everything that he's done, and I give them all of the printouts that Vincent or Vinny has given me over the year, almost 2 years now that I've known him. Okay, and show them and they of course they always ask, well, how do you know him? And I showed him, I gave him copies of the videos that I had made. I said, here, it's just like WWE. It's fake. Nobody gets hurt. No sex, no nothing. Here's the tape. Take it. Look at it. I didn't do anything wrong, but this dude. And then I told him, I said, he's got floppy disks full of these photos. He keeps them in his safe. In his apartment. And you know what the Jacksonville Vice tells me? I've just reported that this dude has got that he's in possession of child pornography. Possession of photographs, sexual performance by a child. The child is being raped. The little girl was being raped. The little girl's face, she was terrorized. I wanted to kill the bastard. Okay? But I didn't. So they tell me, well, we're going to have to think about this. Think about it? Why did they have to think about it? Who in the world do you think? I'm gonna tell you what happened. They had been listening. They had been listening in on my phone ever since this. I'm still living in the same place. That's how they knew I was home when they brought over the 15-year-old little girl, the real 15-year-old little girl, in April. Okay, they're listening in on my phone. They know who I'm talking to, so they went to Vinny and probably said, well, hey, look, and probably showed him my record, and Vinny, me and Vinny were knocking heads because he's trying to screw over the girls, and all I'm trying to do is do everything up and up. So he wants to get rid of me. So yeah, fine, we'll set him up. Because he's really messing me up. He's taking money out of my pocket. So they probably showed him the felony case file and said, look, he got away with it. So that made Vinny think that, hey, I'm just like him. I don't say anything when he's looking at the photos of all the little pantyhose photos and everything. I don't say anything. So, fine, I'll set him up. So, since he likes to, since okay, well, they couldn't get him, so here, he's just like me. I'm nothing like you, Vinny. I'm nothing like you. And he shows me that photo. And now, I tell the Jacksonville Vice, I tell him point blank, he's got discs full of this stuff. I tell him, where's that? And they're like, well, hold on, we're going to look this over, we'll get back to you. I've just reported that I've seen, and I've given them all the evidence, because they were like, well, this isn't child pornography. I said, is that normal for a 50-something-year-old man? He was born in 1945. He's 50-something or 60-something. 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 95. He's 53. It's not normal for a 53-year-old man or 54, whatever, however old he is, year-old man to be looking at photos and drooling and looking at little girls, telling another grown man how sexy a 10-year-old little girl is in her sexy little Halloween costume. And again, stacks of evidence. Hey, I wanted to make sure I had proof for the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. So they're like, okay, we'll look into it. Yeah, we'll look into it. And the whole while, I'm sitting there fuming. Because again, what does Vinny do? Vinny breaks back every memory of every time that I was sexually put in a lewd lascivious situation. Every time. So what do? They finally call me back. Let's not forget, I still have this failure to appear bond out. Okay? Let's not forget that. And I've just called up the Jacksonville Vice. I've just had 2 Vice detectives come over to my house, and I have reported that Vinny is in possession of child pornography, and I have all with a failure to appear warrant out on me. Okay? And they tell me that they have to look into it. Just let me go over it. Why do they have to go over it? I'm going to tell you why. Because they used Vinny. They knew that me and Vinny were button heads, and they used him. They used him to try to take me out. And now I've just blown their whole thing wide open, because now turns out that the person that they're trying to use, the person that they tried to use, turns out to be a real sexual deviant. The person that they tried to use to take out the supposed sexual deviant, me, he himself turns out to be a sexual deviant. I can't prove that he had anything to do with it, because after Vince showed me that photo, I never went back over to his house. I only talked to him on the phone a couple times after that. Period. So, and again, I've reported to the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office that Vinny is in possession of child pornography. Tell me, does that sound like something that a pedophile does? Turn in. They don't turn in other pedophiles, do they? No, they don't. So now, why did they're trying to figure out how in the world do we keep these 2 people apart? Because I've just reported a crime, and I'm telling my family members about this. I'm telling Miss Pat about it. I'm telling my brother about it. I have the audacity to once again call up the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office and report crimes against children. So they call me back finally. One of them calls me back. And he says, okay, well, the problem is that we have no reason to go into his house. We just can't go up in there on your word only. I said, no problem. I got a solution for you. And the guy, and he said, really, what? I said, obviously he's into filming videos. Okay? And he's always been talking about upgrading his camera from it was just a little RCA color camcorder. A little camcorder that you would buy at Walmart or someplace like that. You know, full-size VHS camcorder. It wasn't nothing professional that he had, and he wanted a 2-chip camera. So I told him, I said, look, you all are the Jacksonville Vice. I'm quite sure you all can get a camera. You all just he wants to upgrade, and he's told me that he's stolen the camera. He's told me that he's stolen the camera from CSX. He's told me that he's stolen the laptop that he uses, and he's stolen the printer that he uses. All from his job, CSX. So, that's something else. So, you want to get into his house? Fine. All you got to do is, and he's always, I've heard him, he says he's willing to even do a trade. So he'll trade you his stolen goods for a better camera. That way you all can get in, and you all, I can call him up and tell him, hey, I talked to somebody at the racetrack gas station, and they were just talking about, I can't remember how it came up, but what came up is that, you know, he's got some video equipment that he wants to sell. The guy's got some video equipment that he wants to sell, Vinny, and it's a better camera. I don't know nothing about cameras, Vinny, so you're gonna have to meet with the guy. Let me know if you want to meet with him. Let me know if you want me to give him your phone number. And the vice detective said, you know what? That'll work. You thought about this. I said, yeah, I thought about this. I said, I want to get this. I want to get rid of this scum. He's scum. He showed me a picture of a little girl getting raped and thought it was funny. He's a sick dude. I've been waiting for my opportunity to take this guy out. Now here's my chance to take him out. And I said, now I don't know if the stuff is stolen or not. I don't know. All I know is that he said it. But that'll get you in the door. Well, come to find out, it was stolen. Because here it is, grand theft, dealing in stolen property. Okay? This was the laptop. This was the camcorder. I don't know. Maybe he didn't steal the printer. I don't know. Okay? And there you go. A separate, please notice, a separate offense date. Separate felony case file. Why? Because it's a different crime. This is a different, separate felony case file. Okay? Because it's a separate crime. Okay? So, and so the detective gives me a cell phone number to give to Vinny, and then he says, now whatever you do, don't call him back. I said, I'm not going to call the dude back. I'm not going to tell him. Don't tell him what you're doing. I said, what? Are you stupid? I want to get rid of this guy. I'm not going to tell him what in the world's going on. Okay? And, well, he was arrested, and I was never, ever, ever brought in. No information. They never asked me for anything. I'm the one that set up the whole meet. I'm the one that set up the whole sting. And look at all these court dates. Never one time, not one time, was I even asked for any kind of information about anything. Wasn't asked to make a statement or anything. Why? 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 I'm going to tell you why. Because I've got this failure to appear bond out on me, and the Jacksonville Vice cannot use, they can't use a known criminal, because I don't have any kind of clue as to what's going on. I haven't got a clue as to about the felony case file, the misdemeanor case file. I have yet to see this narrative. I have no idea that any of this is going on. I have no clue as to what my record says. I have no idea about everything that they've tried to do to cover everything up. No clue. So they can't use me. But they still want to get, they're still vice. It's a good arrest. So that's what they do. They use me to set the guy up, and I don't care. I don't want any credit or anything. But isn't that a little odd? Look at all those court dates. Look at all of those court dates, and no one ever got back to me. Isn't that funny? Yeah. That's very funny. Very odd. Very strange. You want to see something else that's strange? This is what's strange. This is Vincent Lolly's bond. You see it right there. Okay? Vincent Lolly. Who is it? Bail Bonds of Florida. What are the odds? Yeah. What is it called on his case file? What is it called? Bruce Weaver Bail Bonds. On both case files. It's called, his bonding company is called Bruce Weaver Bail Bonds. He used the very same bonding company that I used. You want to see what else is strange? Remember the 67-year-old man that got sold down the river? Who did he get sold down the river by? Who? Where's he at? R. Schaefer? Well, guess who Vinny goes out and retains? Take a wild guess. Oh, look at that. R. Schaefer. R. Schaefer. What does that mean? That means this, folks. That means that Vince has used the same bonding company to bond out of jail that I used to bond out from these fake, fictitious, mixed up charges. And the only reason why Vince had to bond out of jail is because I reported his criminal actions. You know, remember me, the sexual deviant that wants 14-year-old little girls? So now they've got to hide the fact, and now the very same attorney that sold the 67-year-old man with Parkinson's disease down the river is now representing the pervert that I turned in. Comes full circle. You can't make this up, folks. You cannot make it up. Period. Now, no matter what way they go, they can't explain my actions. Because all I'm doing is the very same thing. If they bring me into this, it will expose everything that they've done. Everything that they've done. You cannot set up a child of the Most High God. The solution is simple, folks. Just simply tell the truth. Just so you understand perfectly what has just happened to them. Okay? Vincent, or Vinny, has bonded out of jail using the very same bonding company that I did. Bail Bonds of Florida Incorporated. Okay? And the only reason why he had to bond out is because I reported him. I reported his crime. He bonds out prior to retaining private counsel. Okay? He bonded out on 2/28 is the date that he bonded out of jail. Okay? 2/28. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He bonded out on February 11th is when he bonded out. Okay? He then goes, right there, says right here that he bonded out on 2/8/2000. So, I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. They can't even keep their record straight. This says February 11th. This says he bonded out on February 8th. So maybe they're going to fix the date again further on down the road. Yeah, right here. Oh, that was the motion to set the... Oh, same thing. Motion to set the bond. How in the world do they know who he's going to bond out on 8, 9, 10, 11, 3 days before he does it? Bruce Weaver bail bonds. And he bonds out using the very same bond company that I supposedly used back in 1998. You know, the one that just doesn't exist. Bruce Weaver bail bonds. Okay? He then turns around and on 3/6 retains R. Schaefer as counsel. You know, the very same R. Schaefer who sold the 67-year-old man down the river in order to help cover up these crimes. Because the very same thing that happened to me happened to this 67-year-old man. And the 67-year-old man was fighting it. He's the one that didn't have a credit card, remember? Okay? And R. Schaefer's the one that sold him down the river, lied to the man, and said, why? Because, well, I got to stay in the good graces with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office and with the courts, because this is how I make my living. So guess what, Vinny? You are SOL. You are SOL. There is... No. Now, there is no way in the world that they can get me involved in this, because I will pull everybody. I will blow up the whole thing. I will blow up the whole thing. R. Schaefer stopped being an attorney back in 1997 when he did this to this then 67-year-old man. The blood of Cherish Periwinkle is on R. Schaefer. Is on your hands, R. Schaefer. Robert. I believe his first name is Robert. Don't worry, I contact him. And he has a cow when I contact him. You heard me. He's one of the attorneys I contacted. So, again, Vince has gone out and bonded out on his own without anybody's help. He's the one that picks the bonding company. The very same bonding company that I used back in 1997. A. bail bonds of Florida. Okay? And then, but for some strange reason, they call it Bruce Weaver bail bonds, just like they call mine Bruce Weaver bail bonds. Why? Because I'm the one that reported Vince. The bonding company does not want to admit that they even know me. Because if they do, then Miss C.E. Parrish and all of her crew are going to go to prison. The blood of Cherished Periwinkle is on your hands, C.E. Parrish, and all of her people. Now, here's what I want you to notice. This has been redacted. I got this from the courts. Okay? And there's the filing stamp, the end of the case, because he was found guilty. Okay? But why is it redacted? Why is it redacted? Because it probably names me as far as to why Vince was arrested in the first place. Because eventually he finds out about it, because he never contacts me again, ever again. Good riddance, buddy. I don't care. Don't want to be around you. All of the people. Anyway, he never contacts me again. I have nothing to do with him after I turn him in to the jail, to the Vice. Now, what does also that mean, folks? I have the Jacksonville Vice over to my house reporting Vincent's crimes twice. The first time, 2 detectives came. The second time, just 1 detective came back, and he didn't come in my house. He stayed outside in the driveway. I set up Vince. I come up with the plan to set him up, how to take him up. I put the 2 together. I put Vincent in contact with law enforcement, and yet they never come back and they never ask me for information about anything pertaining to this. Well, I looked into it, the case, and according to the arrest report that they handed in, that I was able to find at the circuit clerk of the court. Yeah, I go in. I've been down to the county courthouse so many times. It's not funny. I've been down to the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office so many times. It's not funny. Ever since I found out about this, every time I go in, I always come back out because I'm not a criminal. I've got nothing to hide. Anyway, the document said that for whatever reason, the Jacksonville Vice said that they saw a photograph on his dresser. He didn't have photographs. Everything was on a computer, was on the floppy disk. I told him where the safe was that he kept it. It was in his hall closet. I gave him everything. I didn't care, but that's a little odd that the person that's reporting it isn't even called in to testify as to what they saw. I'm the eyewitness to the fact that this criminal, this pervert, this sexual deviant, this pedophile has this stuff, and they don't even ask me to even give a written statement. Why? Because if I come in, well, again, they all go to prison. All of them. All of the people that have done this to me go to prison. Thank you for your service, sir. We'll take it from here. We'll lie. And it's a good thing that we get that. They're saying, hey, great. We're glad we got Robert. We're glad that you went and got Robert, because we know Robert knows how to play ball. So Vinny, you are SOL, son. All Robert Schaefer's going to do is take your money, smile at you, and sell you down the river, because guess what? He's too pretty for prison. himself. Nope, he has no way in the world that he's going to go down for sending this 67-year-old innocent man, slandering this 67-year-old innocent man's name. See how it's come full circle? See how it's come full circle? And now, once again, I have documented to the Jacksonville Vice crimes. This time, they actually do something about it. But then all of a sudden forget about me. Little odd. Why did they forget about me? Well, because, if I find out about this, they're all going to prison. They're all going to prison. Add those 2 Vice detectives to the list. I told you, folks, there's over 100 of these daggum criminals. Add those 2 Vice detectives because, again, let's not forget, folks, I am out on there is a failure to appear bond out for my arrest. And I've just had the Jacksonville Vice come over to my house, inside my house. Once I've had 2 Jacksonville Vice detectives in my house, and I'm reporting crimes. I'm not, if you notice, I'm not running, I'm not hiding. I'm not ashamed of anything, which just goes to prove none of this happened. This is all a lie. This is all a lie. Actions prove intent, so says the law. I'm doing the very same thing in 2000, in January of 2000 or February of 2000 that I did back in December of 1997. Report crimes. Report crimes. Period. So now, that's it. That's it. That's it. We have to do something. We have to do something about. We can't set this guy up. And he's already proven. that he's not a criminal. He refuses to be. We cannot gaslight him. We can't threaten him. We can't set him up by bringing a real 15-year-old girl over to his house. We can't set him up by rewriting his criminal history, his record. We can't send him to prison because he refuses to give up his voice. Why? Because I don't ask man what to do. I ask my God what to do. Because I'm not a criminal. I'm a child of the Most High God. Period. So now, here this troublemaker has just brought back in the very same bond company. He's turned in the very same attorney that did this, R. Schaefer. So that's it. That's it. We got to get rid of him. We've got to. Okay. We just got to. I can't. We got to do something about. Coffer's really sweating bullets now. He says, okay. Just maybe he just won't do anything and get arrested ever again. So you know what? Let's just get rid. We don't know. By this time, people are moving on. People move on with their lives. Those people don't stay with the state attorney's office and with the public defender's office forever. They're starting to move on. This is now 2000. 3 years later. We can't keep lying. At some point in time, he's going to find out about it. So let's do this. Let's just do this. Maybe he just won't. Maybe instead of trying to set him up, maybe we'll just. I don't know. We got to get rid of it. We got to get rid. We got to get rid of this. So okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're going to clear this up, because now that's a failure to appear bond, and now that I'm a judge, now that I'm really a judge, okay, we're gonna bring him in. We know where he lives. We'll just walk around. We'll just drive around. We know he can't drive, because they revoked my driver's license for 1 year. Or 2 years? 2 years, I think. Revoked for 2 years. I couldn't drive. Could not drive. So what we're going to do is we're just going to keep cruising around Atlantic Boulevard by the racetrack gas station. We know he's there every day. And what we're going to do, we're going to arrest him again. So what happens? Well, you're looking at what happens. 3-3-2000 happens. And 3-3-2000 happens because Charlie, my buddy, is a is a male pit bull. Male pit beagle. I haven't gotten him fixed. And he catches the scent of a female in heat. And he leaves the yard. So it's 0 dark early in the morning, and I'm out looking for Charlie. What time of day in the morning is it? Well, let's just go see. It is, here's the arrest and booking report. It is 1:40 in the morning. Can you see that? 1:40 in the morning. And I'm walking down Atlantic Boulevard. No wallet. I'm in a pair of shorts, I think. I can't remember what I was wearing, to be honest with you. But January, February, March. Yeah, I was probably in a pair of shorts. 3-3-2000, and I'm walking down Atlantic Boulevard, looking for my buddy. I think I have a flashlight. I don't know. I can't remember. But I walked up to the racetrack gas station. I asked the night people if they saw Charlie come by. Nope, they haven't seen Charlie. And so I start walking east on Atlantic Boulevard towards the ocean. And I come across, and again, it's 1:40 in the morning. There's not that many people out, but there's a female sitting on a bus bench. So I walk up to her and I said, "Excuse me, ma'am, have you seen, I'm looking for my dog. He's 65 pounds, he's light brown, with a white chest. He looks like a pit bull. He's half pit bull and half beagle." And she's like, "No, I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anything." And what happens? Here comes Officer Fagan driving east on Atlantic Boulevard and passes me up. So I'm just sitting there talking to the girl, asking her the very same thing. "Excuse me, are you sure?" And she's like, "Well, what happened?" I said, "Well, there's probably a female in heat somewhere around here." And Fagan goes past me, and then does a U-turn, and then comes back down west, heading west down Atlantic Boulevard, passes us up, goes back down to the racetrack gas station, does another U-turn, and then comes up and stops right by us. Opens up the car door and gets out. Little odd, isn't it? And then says, what's going on? What are y'all doing? And that's when I tell her. I said, "I'm looking for my dog." Who was that female sitting right there? I'm going to tell you who that female was. That was another female JSO officer who was posing as a prostitute. And they just saw me walk up. Did I solicit the girl? Nope. Nope. So the police officer says, hey, you, go over that way. And so the girl gets up off of the... Remember, she's sitting... Where she was sitting it was in front of another little convenience store, but that convenience store wasn't open 24 hours a day. It was closed down. And she was sitting on a bus bench in front of that convenience store, and right next door to that convenience store was an apartment complex. A HUD apartment complex. All I'm doing is looking for my dog. So the female officer tells, because that's what Fagan is. Fagan's a female officer. She tells the girl that I was talking to, asking if she had seen Charlie. She tells her to go away. Go away. And then calls me over to the car. You got your ID on you? I can't remember if I did or if I didn't. To be honest with you, I don't think I did. I said, no, I didn't. I just walked out the house looking for Charlie. I didn't think I would. I thought I would find him. So she goes, what's your driver's license number? I give her my driver's license number. And then, remember, I have been walking around. I have been arrested for driving on a suspended license. They want to put me. Then they wanted to put me in prison. Okay, they wanted to put me in prison in 1999. Been through all the court cases for that. With a failure to appear warrant out for my arrest. Okay, failure to appear warrant out. I have turned in. I've had device over to my house 2 different times to report Vinny, this pervert, with a failure to appear warrant out for my a failure to appear arrest warrant out for me. It's now 2000, and now I'm walking down the street looking for my dog, and suddenly this JSO officer pulls up, asks me for my ID number. See, light bulb's going, yeah, right. And suddenly she says, you're under arrest. I said, under arrest for what? Failure to appear for this case. So, what the Jacksonville Police Department couldn't do in 1999, and there was a bunch of squad cars when they arrested me. 2 squad cars, and they called in other squad cars. They had to call in a tow truck and everything like that. What they couldn't do, what the courts couldn't do, because remember, I went through the court, I bonded out, 5 different opportunities just for court dates for me to do background checks on. They couldn't find it then. I have 2 vice detectives come over to my house, and because I'm reporting crimes of this pedophile Vincent Lolly, and of course they always look like they're not going to look into the person that's reporting the crime. Of course they do. I don't care. I don't have anything to sign. Anything to hide. They didn't find the failure to appear warrant, but now suddenly, mysteriously, in 2000, March 3rd, 2000, this sole female officer who just so happened to be driving by and just so happened to do a U-turn twice and asked me for my ID and what my ID number is, suddenly she discovers that I'm wanted for a failure to appear arrest. Right. Oh, and if you don't believe me that that's what it is, it's in there twice. Here's 1. Here's 2. Notice they didn't redact my driver's license on this one, nor did they redact, once again, my social security number on this one. So you know it's a different arrest and booking report. Why is it? Well, because they got to have something. When you click on this link for the misdemeanor case file, because now there's links, because I've had it scanned in, there's a little link right here. Okay? When you click on that link to view this, what do you think pops up? Not arrest and booking report 970047099-5. No. What pops up? This one. This 2000 arrest and booking report. They got to stick something in it. And this is what it's for. Capias number 9835. Can y'all see that? 98335MA. That's the Capias number. That's also the case number. And what judge am I supposed to go before? Right there. Mallory D. Cooper. Can you read? I can read. Date of issue of the bond of it. 4/3/1998. You remember? You remember? I remember. You know. Now they're suddenly, forget the failure to appear. It's not failure to appear. It's really this one. This failure to pay the court costs. Failure to pay the fine. Failure to pay the $105 in court costs that she found me. So now, what does this say? What does this say? This is a 3/3/2000 arrest. That's what you're looking at right there. Okay, let's go back down. 3/3/2000 arrest. What's the one charge? Soliciting for prostitution. That is the failure to appear. But what does it say here on my thing? It says soliciting for prostitution. Look at the disposition date. 1/6/1998. You're looking at it. So what they're saying is, I was arrested for soliciting for prostitution in 2000, but yet I was the disposition for this arrest happened in 1998. You're looking right at it. You're seeing right here the second charge, 2-count charge. The second charge is attempted, and what disposition is that? 1/6/1998. And what disposition was that? Dropped and abandoned. It was never added. And then what's the third charge? Contempt of court. Disposition date 1/6/1998. You are looking right at it. This is for the 2000, 3/3/2000 arrest. They're saying that I was arrested on 3/3/2000 for a crime that has already had a final disposition delivered on it on 1/6/1998, on 1/6/1998, and on 1/6/1998. And I was adjudicated guilty on 2 of the 3 charges, yet this arrest and booking report only lists soliciting for prostitution, meaning what they are doing is they're mixing the 2 bonds together. And remember, I'm supposed to go before Cooper. Who do I go before? Who do you think I'm going to go before? I'm going to go before Charles in charge, or now Charlie in charge, Carver. Just in case, just so I'm clear, just in case you haven't missed it, just in case you have missed it, should I say. Count 1, count 2, count 3. What they're now trying to say is that this entire 1998 case file, this entire 3-count 1998 case file is based solely on this 3/3/2000 3-count arrest for count 1, soliciting for prostitution, count 2, attempted, whatever that is, and then count 3, contempt of court. You're looking right at it. And just like I said in the very first, from the very beginning, I believe it was the second video, there is no arrest and booking report anywhere that says that I was ever arrested for these 3 charges, either separately or together, in any combination. And you're going to say, well, wait a minute, Kay. This one says that you were arrested for solicitation of prostitution. No, it doesn't. It says I was arrested for failing to appear. Because that is the judge that I'm supposed to go before. Because that is what this failure to appear bond says. If he be found in your county and him safely keep so that you have his body before the judge of our county court. Who? I'm supposed to go before Mallory Cooper, and that is exactly what this narrative section says. I'm supposed to go before Mallory D. Cooper because I failed to appear. So this arrest and booking report says I was arrested because I never showed up. You're reading it. Citation number, case number, SA number. Right here. Citation number. Here, let's just zoom in on that little box right there. You see that? Citation number, case number. This is the case number. Got it? That's the case number. For this, that's the case number for this capias right there. 98335 MMA, which is just so happens to be the case number for this 1998 335. Only thing that's missing is the other M. Okay? So, what this documents is that for the second time, I have been falsely detained, falsely imprisoned, kidnapped, and held for ransom by the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. Because, as you can clearly see, there is a bond amount right there on the arrest and booking report. And I haven't done anything. The only reason why this officer is taking me into custody is because they created this failure to appear. This failure to appear capias or warrant, because the Honorable Mallory D. Cooper filed a capias because I didn't pay court costs to a case that I had no idea even took place. You see what you understand? So now this is the second time. They're still, it's 2000, and they're still dealing with these crimes that they did to me and upon me, that they are still doing to me and upon me in 2000. And if they say anything about about this arrest. If I as the this is the narrative section of the arrest and booking report, folks. If I actually get before the Honorable Mallory D. Cooper, it's going to sink their boat. They can't have me go before Cooper. So who do they have me go before? And again, this also confirms the simple fact that they named the judge that I'm supposed to be before, tells you that it was not an indirect, it was a direct failure to appear warrant that they're basing this on. Because this one right here says Honorable Mallory D. Cooper, but that's okay. Who controls all the information? The state attorney's office. They're going to make sure, they know I'm coming. So what happens? What happens? I have never been in and out of jail so fast in my entire life. I'm taken down, and as I'm going down, I'm talking to the police officer, because all I'm trying to do is I'm looking for my dog. That's all I was trying to do. I don't have a wallet on me. I don't have any ID on me. And now these people say I showed up. I failed to appear. And I even told the officer, I said, failed to appear to what? Some case back in 1997. I said, no. They told me all charges were dropped. Well, I don't know. You're going to have to talk to the judge in the morning. Fine, I'll talk to the judge in the morning. And again, I have never been in and out of court in and out of jail, in and out of court so fast in my entire life. Remember, I was arrested at 1:40 in the morning. Okay? I wasn't booked until 3:48 in the morning. Can you see that? 3:48 is the time I was booked. So that means I should have been in the afternoon session. Well, guess what? Guess what? Nope. I am in the morning session, the morning of 3/3. Because I was arrested on 3/3. I'm going to be in court date on 3/3. So says the case file. Okay? So says the case file. Here we go. We're going to come look at all this stuff that happened. Look at all this. Here we are. Arrest and booking report 3/3. 3/3. Now we're going to really start moving. Okay? I never left the first floor of the jail. I spent the entire, not the entire, I'm only down there for 6 hours, because the morning session happens at 9 a.m. I wasn't booked into the jail until 3:48, 4 o'clock in the morning. So I get breakfast. Then, first appearance. And I am the very first one in line. What they do, again, this is a misdemeanor. I haven't got a clue as to what in the world's going on. I couldn't tell the people why I'm there. I have no idea why I'm there. There's nobody to call. I don't have anybody to call. Who am I going to call at 2 o'clock in the morning? Everybody that I know is in bed sleeping. And the only reason why I was up is because I was looking for my dog who caught wind of a female dog in heat. So, fine. I'll just wait and go before the judge. So this is how it works with misdemeanors. Again, they treat you like cattle. First appearance. Now, I went through the whole booking process. I have my jail clothes. But I'm not going to have them that long. Because they're about to get rid of me. Lickety split. Okay? And who's the judge? You're reading it right there. Charlie in charge, Coffer. Okay? So, they take you down and they put you in a little holding room where they're getting everybody in the order that they're going to go before the judge. Okay? The first people that they're going to deal with are supposed to be the felons. Then the next people that they deal with are us misdemeanor criminals. Okay? But not on the morning of 3/3/2000. You heard me. Not on the morning of 3/3/2000. I shouldn't be in the morning session anyway. I should be in the afternoon session, which again is why there is no time listed for this court date, for this action. No time of day listed. None. Because they're not going to record me. They're not going to record that I was there. Because the state attorney's office controls all the information. Because if I ever find out the reason why, again, they all go to prison. They're still trying to cover up this 1997 thing. So again, they put you all in a room, in a little bitty room, and they cram about 30 guys into a room that was big enough to maybe fit 15. There's a bench that goes all the way around the four on all four walls. The only spot that doesn't have a bench is the door. Everybody else, everything else has every other wall, every other portion of the wall has a metal bench, and we're all sitting there shoulder to shoulder. And some of these guys stink. Some of them are drunk. Some of them are just nasty, funky, and you're stuck there with them. You can't leave. Can't get up because there's a little correction officer looking in the window, making sure that you're a good little rat. So what they're doing is they're putting the docket in order, and then one of the clerks or one of the bailiffs is going to come in. And he's going to tell each and every one of us what we're facing and what the court is going to offer, so that if you want to plead out, you can plead out. So that's exactly what happens. The clerk or the bailiff, whichever you want to call him, comes to the door and he starts going through everybody, and then he gets to me. He says, Kerry Nelson. I said, yep. I still haven't got a clue as to why I'm there. Again. He tells me, okay, Mr. Nelson, if you plead no contest, the judge will find you guilty. He will suspend all court costs, and you will be out on the street within 30 minutes. And I'm like, okay, that sounds good. And for everybody in the room was like, dear God, then what? Can you all give me that deal? Again, I was not told what I was in there for. I was just told, when you go before the judge, all you got to do, he's going to ask you how you plead. You plead no contest. Why? They do not want me to even know that they still have done this. Do not want me to know it. So, what you're going to do, Mr. Nelson, is you plead no contest. The judge will find you guilty, and he will suspend all court costs. And you will be out on the street within 30 minutes. That's exactly what happens. We all go in, the misdemeanors go in, then the felonies come in, and who you think's the first one up? Not a felony. Me! First one up for the day. And who's on the bench? Sure enough. Who's not looking at me? Charlie in charge, Coffer. He does not want me to recognize him from 1997. From December 15th, 1997, when he impersonated a judge. So he's looking down, he's acting like he's doing court judge things, moving papers around. He says, how does the defendant plead? Now, why can they get away with this? I'm not a criminal. I don't know what they're doing. That's not what they're doing. What are they doing again? They are shredding the United States Constitution. They have just They have just, for the second time, falsely detained me, / imprisoned me, kidnapped me, are holding me for ransom. Now they are denying me counsel. They are denying me due process. And they're going to find me guilty of a crime that, again, has not taken place and cannot and could not happen because there was no reason for this warrant. There was no reason for this warrant to ever been issued, or this capias or warrant, whatever you want to call it. Because, and the only reason why this one was issued was because this one was issued. You're looking right at it. You're looking right at it. So that's what I do. I plead no contest, and they again are violating all of my constitutional, my 1st, 4th, 5th, 6th, 8th, and 14th United States constitutional rights. They've just recommitted every single felony that they have that was committed upon me back in 1997 all over again. Everything. In fact, they've just committed the very same crime again. They've just committed the very same crime again, and are now trying to cover it up. Is what they've doing. They've just committed the very same crime again, only to try to clear up and make this look legitimate. You know, their first attempt at cleaning up the crimes. So, how do you plead? I don't even know what I'm pleading to, but the dude told me, again, I'm trusting these people. I'm a Christian. I am trusting I'm before a minister of Almighty God. When I was in the holding room, that was a minister of Almighty God telling me how to resolve the matter. Now I'm before Charlie in charge Crawford. Now I know, today in 2018, I know he's a criminal. Back then, I truly believed and I was trusting that he was a minister of Almighty God, according to Romans chapter 13. So I just do what all the ministers of Almighty God tells me to do, have told me to do. I plead no contest, and you're looking right at it. Okay, I find you guilty. Court costs suspended. All court costs suspended. Case dismissed. Have a good day. And I'm taken back out. And again, I have never been out. I have never been in and out of jail so fast in my entire life. And remember what the court caught, what the capias was for. Remember what the original capias was for. What Mallory D. Cooper's capias was for. For failure to pay court costs, $105. Now, I'm not going to pull back up the statute again, but we've already read it. For failing to appear at the minimum. At the minimum. Is that it? No, that's the other guy. All right. The very minimum, I should pay the maximum penalty for solicitation of prostitution. No matter what the outcome, no matter what the adjudication is. And again, why in the world did they find me guilty? Because they believe that this cannot be revisited. Only one problem. It's fundamental error. And again, I'm supposed to have been found guilty of soliciting for prostitution. That's what the arrest and booking report says. That is what the original case was for. So once again, why am I not ordered to take the AIDS test? Because I have never been arrested for soliciting for prostitution. Period. So, they think that this will clear this up. It doesn't clear it up. It doesn't solve the problem. It explains, it may explain, and again, they found me guilty so that I can't re-look into it again. Oh, you don't believe me? Okay, here we go. Watch this. Here we go. Here it is. 796, as well as now it's just contempt of court. Well, what happened to attempted? Count 1, count 3. count 3, 1 day of credit. Is what I was sentenced to. That's what it says. Judgment and sentence to county jail for 1 day credit. There was no credit. I shouldn't have been arrested in the first place. Period. Then down here we go. Waived. That's what that little symbol means. That's what S means. Suspended. 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 You know the original $105 that Mallory D. Cooper? The whole reason why I was supposed to have been arrested, and there's Charlie in Charge's little scribble scratch of a handwriting. March 3rd, 2000, which means, once again, I am adjudicated guilty and sentenced of guilty for solicitation of prostitution on the very same day, and I've already showed you that cannot happen. So, just like I said, this arrest and booking report does not exist. And this is the second time that they have kidnapped. Actually, it's the third time. Third time, because they did the very same thing to me in 1999. The very same thing. At least then, my driver's license was actually suspended. But they shouldn't have tried to put me in prison for 2 days. So guess what? Just 2 times. We'll just stick with 2 times. This is the first time that they have just come in and grabbed me up off the street was in 1997. Now the second time that they've come in and dragged me up off the street is in 2000. And you already know, you now know, I'm not lying to you. I've told you that there is no document anywhere that says that this happened. Here's the document. It doesn't say lewd or lascivious. It says attempted, and there's no final disposition on this. They think that it's over with, okay? And then there is that arrest and booking report doesn't exist, just like I told you. You've just seen it. This arrest and booking report, this 2000 arrest and booking report, does not exist. And I just showed it to you. That leaves just one last one. And they got to wait until 2009. This, what do you want to bet? Now will you believe me when I say that this one doesn't exist either? Well, I'm about to show it to you. In the next video, I'm about to show it to you. But you see how long this has been going on for. And again, this 2000 arrest is supposed to explain this 1998 supposed case file. No. You see how screwed up it is. And remember, folks, I reported this to the chief judge Mark Mahan, to the sheriff, the supposed sheriff Mike Williams, and they have had knowledge of this since 12/3 they've had knowledge of this for 2 years, 4 months, and 12 days as of 12/3/2017. And again, I think you understand now exactly why they they don't want Mallory D. Cooper to find out about this. I think you understand why. You can see now, you can see exactly how screwed up everything is, and all they keep doing is they just keep drinking their, they keep popping their stupid pills, drinking their stupid juice, and eating their stupid sandwiches and eating their stupid dinner. And keep overlooking. While my life is still being taken from me. My life is being stolen from me. And let's not forget the 3 Thornton women. Because this was never dealt with, the 3 Thornton women are convinced that it's their fault that Cherish Periwinkle was kidnapped, raped, and murdered on June 21st, 2013. And let's not forget that on June 21st, 2013, Cherish Periwinkle was kidnapped, raped, and murdered by one Donald Smith, all because he was unleashed onto the general public by one Mr. Terrence Martin, when Terrence Martin knew way back in 1997, or the earlier, by the latest, by January 5th, 1998, that he no longer had the authority or the legal jurisdiction to make a plea deal, because he stopped being an attorney. Now do you understand why my JSO criminal history says what it says? Now do you understand why this misdemeanor case file says what it says? Now do you understand why the felony case file says what it says? Now do you understand why this 12/3/1997 false felony arrest and booking report that documents all of their crimes, that has never seen a day in court, is still hiding at the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office without any final disposition on it? Something tells me you know exactly why. Just saying.